Welcome to day 3 of me pulling back the curtain behind my multi-six-figure business, sharing with you the things that I wish that I knew sooner. And today's topic is all about the art of sales, which I'm super excited to share with you. And I'm excited to share it because this was a skill that transformed everything. Like literally me feeling like I was hustling, that I was trying to convince people to do work with me, to feeling super empowered and aligned. And at the same time, really watching the financials of my business grow in a very tangible way. And this is also a skill that I've supported many people to do, especially my private clients, and something that I'm going to offer you a glimpse of today. And this is something we're going to dive much deeper inside Feminine Leadership Mastery, which is my 12-week coaching course that's coming up starting on Tuesday. So this is a really, really great topic. And if you are an entrepreneur or a healer, a coach, somebody who wants to really be able to offer your service as a gift to other people, to be able to feel super aligned and not this like icky, salesy feeling, and really actually stand in your power while being able to create sustainable wealth, then this is the conversation for you. So let me know if you're here, give me a little wave. And again, this is day 3 of these really honest, real behind the scenes conversations. I'm also tuning in right now from the Tantra Festival, which I'm really excited to be here. So I'm not really in my usual home environment, but I'm taking a quiet moment while everybody's having dinner to have this conversation with you. And also wanted to share that while I've been here, not only has it been super fun and exciting to teach about Tantra and about sacred sexuality and all the other things that I do, but also really having amazing, great conversations with many of the facilitators here who are saying to me, and I get it because I've been there, feeling like, wow, I've been doing this work, facilitating workshops or giving sessions or leading groups or, doing massage, Reiki, sound healing, like you name it, for like a decade, and it's really time for me to step up into my financial abundance. So I just wanted to acknowledge all of my people out here who might be listening and also here at the festival with me, where if you've been on this path for a while and you know that you've got really great gifts to offer, and you know that you're ready for your next level of wealth that's rooted in pleasure and feels 100% aligned in your life, then these are the conversations for you. And I would really highly recommend that you check out Feminine Leadership Mastery. I'll talk more about it as well at the end of my talk here today. But these are the kinds of conversations, real deal, behind the scenes conversations with me, as well as a core person of my team, Robin Savage, who's the founder of the brand is Yuko. Both of us have built multi-six-figure businesses. Both of us have had entrepreneurship and feminine leadership experience. We bring over 25 years combined experience together. We've got a small group gathering to really help you focus in on your feminine leadership mastery, which includes the topic of wealth. So this is what we're going to dive into today. Also make sure that you comment, you like, you do all the things. I really, it's supportive for me to know like, okay, what's landing, So if I'm saying something that's landing for you, please give me some heart so that I know that, I'm on the right track. And also if you comment on today's post as well as the last 2 days, I'm going to be doing a draw tomorrow for $500 towards any program with me. So make sure that you jump in on that as well. All right, the art of sales. So much to share here. I remember a time, and give me a little wave or a little like thumbs up or something if you feel this way, where the idea of selling somebody something, whether it was a retreat, a class, a workshop, a coaching session, just felt like, ooh, in my stomach. Like I never wanted to come across as salesy. It was this feeling like before I got on a discovery call with somebody who actually wanted to work with me, who booked a call with me to talk about working with me, even that, I would feel like kind of like a bit of dread around it. This feeling like, oh, I'm going to have this sales conversation. I'm going to have a pricing conversation, and I'm going to have to try and prove how valuable my thing is and kind of convince them to buy it. And when I came in with that attitude, which is very, very common because we probably all had sales experiences that felt really icky inside, and we don't want to be that person. So I really shied away from it. I was not actually selling myself. I undersold myself a lot. I didn't really dare to even share at the end of a workshop or something that hey, this is the next step if you want to take it with me. I never made those invitations because I had this idea that in order to be a spiritual person or a humble person, that I shouldn't give people the natural next step, that somehow miraculously, if they wanted to work with me, they would find me, which sometimes happens, yeah, but not making these clear invitations for people to join. And I had a lot of work around really understanding the difference between taking a clear, confident stand in what I offer, the value of transformation that I provide, which has been proven over time, which comes with experience. That also means that I value my own time, what I have to offer, and everything that I've also put into it, including 15 plus years of embodiment work, including literally hundreds of thousands of dollars that I've invested in growing my own business skills, and all these years of experience and all the results that I've gotten with my clients in order to help people get to where they are. I was afraid to take a stand for that because I didn't want to come across as being too focused on money, right? Money felt like it was something that was almost evil, or if I had too much of it, then it would mean that I was a certain kind of person that I didn't want to be. I was living in a very kind of spiritual centric world for a long time, which I really value. It's super important. It's a big part of my life. And there was also a lot of kind of judgment around that field about entrepreneurs or around creating a business, doing what we love. But the thing is that when we swim around too long in this area of kind of giving, but not actually opening the flood doors to be able to receive, what happens is that we end up really actually struggling a lot. So this is kind of the syndrome of the struggling healer, right? Which we're always giving, but then not receiving. And then we end up in a place where it's hard for us to actually give our full gifts anymore because we're struggling for money. And many healers, coaches, transformational guides that I work with, including myself until I learned it, we didn't have the business skills to be able to grow a business. I kind of even denied that I had a business for the first 10 years that I had a business because I didn't want to, I didn't see myself as a business person at all, until the day that I realized in order for me to keep on doing what I love, to serve at the highest level to my clients, and also to grow the vision that I desire, which is actually beyond me and beyond you, but actually having a regenerative wealth within my business that we can then allocate these funds to areas of the world and women in the world that might not have access to these programs. That's the bigger vision of my business. So in order to be able to contribute to this larger vision, we need to have an abundance of financial flow going so that we can create and we can operate from a place of abundance, flow, and generosity. So this is kind of the heartbeat, of why I decided at one point, hey, I actually need to learn how to market my business and also to sell in a way that doesn't sell my soul. Yeah, that remains super, super important for me. It has to feel 100% absolutely aligned. Otherwise, nothing in me can do it. So the conversation today, and I see a whole bunch of my amazing facilitator friends joining, so welcome. I see you, feel you, good to have you all here. So today what I want to offer is a mindset switch that completely changed how I invite people into containers to work with me. And there's a bunch of technical pieces, which I won't necessarily go into this live, because this is something that we do, again, inside Feminine Leadership Mastery, inside my coaching containers with my one-on-one clients. It takes a lot more than an IG live to be able to teach you this skill. But what I will share with you is a mindset shift, which is, rather than feeling like you are selling, like you have to have something happen. It's kind of like in lovemaking, right? So if you're with a lover and you have a goal that your lover is going to get something out of this experience with you, like they're gonna have 10 orgasms, and this is gonna be like the best love experience of their life, and they're gonna tell all their friends about it. Like, if you come in with this kind of goal-oriented approach, it will usually backfire, because there's a lot of pressure, first of all, on the container for a certain result that you think should happen. Whereas I believe, anyways, a good lovership or good lover is one who actually drops all ideas of what we think should happen, and instead comes completely 100% present with what is. To be able to look each other in the eye, to breathe together, to deeply listen, and to feel, to ask great questions and feedback, to be able to reflect on what we're hearing the other person say. And then from there, to be able to dance and to make music and to make love together. That is a great lovership. That's a great relationship. So sales, I see as something very similar to that. I've never used this metaphor, by the way. I guess the Tantra Festival is rubbing off on me a little bit here. But it's kind of like this. It's entering into a conversation or a dance of presence with somebody who might potentially be interested in what you have to offer. Or maybe there is a mutual offering of something for each other. Like, I believe that we always have gifts to share with each other. So whenever I go into a sales conversation, if I notice that any part of me is kind of like sitting at the front like this, right? Like, kind of on the edge of my seat, kind of being like, okay, I gotta have a goal of this conversation, that this person is gonna end up doing alchemy of business with me, or private coaching with me, or they're gonna sign up for this retreat or whatever. If I notice that there's any part of me that already has a goal in mind, I do my work of, right, really taking a few breaths and actually sitting back in myself so that I let go of any goal or idea of outcome. That's the first step. The second step is I always ask, so what is really bringing you here today? What called you to book this call with me, this conversation, this IG chat, this doesn't even matter where, but what's really calling you to have this conversation together, to explore working together? Or if you're on, this goes for anything, by the way, not just discovery calls, but also in your IG DMs or in your posts or anything. It's like to be able to also create relationship. Because remember, also in terms of business, people buy from people that they know, love, and trust. So if they can really feel you, that you really come in and do your own work of clearing any goal orientation, that already alleviates 95% of the pressure. Because when I show up for a call, I really show up and let's see what happens. Let's see what music wants to be played here. Like, let's see if we even jive. Let's see if we want to jam together. I don't even know. But let me come with an open heart and open ears and hear what's here. And then from there, it's really about deep empathetic listening to me. it's not even a sales conversation. It's really about me asking great questions to be able to see what are the needs of this person. What are their deepest desires? What are their challenges? What are they struggling with? Is this something that I can even be helpful with? And I talked about imposter syndrome yesterday and how to make sure that you don't get into imposter syndrome. That only happens when you're trying to be somebody that you're not, or when you say that you have something to offer that you don't, right? So don't do that. If I have somebody in front of me who's actually like, I'm not the best person for them, I'm going to refer them along, or I'm going to tell them that I'm not the right person for you. But let me see if I can help you find a resource, if that's true, right? So that's the second piece, is to actually deeply listen to what it is that they're feeling, and to not also be afraid to ask some questions to really help you understand where they're at and where they're feeling challenged. Once we get that point and we can come from a place of deep listening and empathy and relationship, then selling doesn't even feel like selling, because selling is really, because what it becomes is a conversation about how can I most support you? And whether that's with me or whether that's with somebody else, right? How can I be of service to this person in this moment? And maybe it is that I have a program that might be interesting for them that I'll share about. And I'll always ask them also, would you like me to share about this? Like, I have a few thoughts on that. Would you like me to share about it? And then we get into a conversation about that. And I'll have to let you know that when I started to have my sales calls in this way, it went from feeling stressful and icky to feeling so joyful and aligned, because now I knew that for half an hour, I'm going to get to sit down with somebody who is going to share their heart with me, and that I'll see how I can do my best to be of service to them in that moment. Anytime I make an invitation, again, this is all things that will go deeper inside FLM and inside like my private coaching, because it's just too much to do in an IG Live. It's too specific. But what we kind of do is then really support you, like I support my clients, to really understand what is the value of transformation that you offer someone. This is also how you go from offering like, let's say sessions at like $100 a session to literally selling like $7,000, $8,000, $12,000, $15,000 packages, is when we identify what is it that you really help people with and how do you support people to get there. Then the number that per hour doesn't even really come in the conversation anymore, because that's not what we're basing the value of your time on. It's how you help people, and the way that you help them, and the time of which you support people to get from A to B. That is your magic. So these are topics that we'll explore more inside Feminine Leadership Mastery, inside Alchemy of Business with me, inside private coaching. If you're curious, I'm going to share a few more things, but if you're curious about any of these programs, just comment FLM, Feminine Leadership Mastery, which starts on Tuesday, and I can share more about that with you. Or Alchemy of Business, which is my like foundational business coaching course, which is amazing. And I'll share more about that with you as well. But in the meantime, in terms of sales, I just want to give you two examples of how, actually, I'll give you three examples of how this has actually worked, both within my business as well as for my clients' businesses. So I worked with a client who had, he has like an amazing client base already. So he already has people who know, love, and trust him, which is really key, right? And how do you get to know, love, and trust people? Is you show up authentically, okay? So, and you show up consistently. So that's the basis of what to do. And then after that, he wanted to offer a facilitator training to teach people how to do what he does. And he's already selling like pretty medium to high ticket coaching or like packages. So when he came to me, him and his team, he said, okay, Alice, listen, I know that we've got this great product. I'm excited to launch this facilitator training. I said, okay, great. Like, what's your vision for the training? What are your goals? And he told me, well, I would love to have 13 people there. And I don't know, I'm kind of thinking around like 8,000. It's like, okay, great. Like, how many days? Like, what's entailed? So I did a coaching call with him to help him price his retreat and then therefore sell it. And it was incredible, the results that we get. First thing that I'd help you do is really help you see and understand the value of what your offer is. And one thing that you'll get to know about me, if we don't already know each other, is I'm quite grounded and practical, I believe. So I can go woo and I can go super spiritual and esoteric, but I'm also really grounded. So I feel like this is my gift in the world, is really to be able to merge both. So we looked at it and I was like, all right. So after we value stacked it and I helped him to see the value of what he's offering, which was massive, I was like, how do you feel about that 8,000? And he's like, it feels too low. I was like, yeah, definitely feels too low. So then we repriced it. We lifted it up to 13,500 for a 5-day training. It's like, all right, that feels bold. That feels edgy. Great. Let's play with that. And we weren't sure, he's like, I'll be really happy with 8, but 13 would be like the vision. Well, guess what? I taught him the art of sales. We did some sales call conversations where I role played it with him. We got him super prepped up so that I coached him on those calls. And within 2 weeks, he sold out that program, 13 people, $13,500. It was amazing. And not only was it financially rewarding for him, but the people who got to take this training, who got to experience this truly life-transforming program with him, who now get to do what they love and spread it out into the world, that is the ripple effect of what happens when you show up for your clients, when your clients show up for the work, and you actually get to make a big difference in the world. So that was one big client celebration. I have a second one to share, which is beloved coaching client who gave me permission to share this. Also amazing voice coach who I love, I adore. Her work is so solid. And we're going to be doing client spotlight on her pretty soon. She might be on here, so you'll see it soon. But anyways, with this coaching client, she literally went from selling $100 sessions, $200 sessions, one-off, to now selling $7,000 6-month mentorship packages. She had a goal of filling her calendar. We went through quite a process. We did a 6-month coaching. First 2 months, we went into the shadow work, and really excavated all of these money stories and worth stories and value and pricing and charging. We dug deep in the shadow work. And when she was ready to emerge, I helped her create her signature mentorship coaching program, and she has sold it out. Our last conversation was actually, what do we now do with her wait list? So that's incredible. And in my celebrations call video with her, she actually said, which just touched me so deeply, that she has gone from feeling almost like a beggar on the streets to a queen who is finally sitting in the throne that she's always known that she's meant to sit in. So this was incredible. So these are just examples of what can happen. I'm so proud of them, by the way, just celebrating these 2 clients so much. But this is what understanding, learning the art of sales can do for you. To be able to bring you from a place of feeling like you're hustling or trying to get people to do something with you, trying to hook them, trying to, feel icky and slimy, to actually really learning how to sit in your own throne, to understand deeply the value of what you offer, to price it well at a place where it feels like, fuck yeah, and to be able to have these really heart-led conversations with no strings attached with your clients, but with you standing in the worth of what you offer, and then making really powerful invitations of which we completely let go and surrender the results. And when we do that, I would say that many times what happens on the other side is sometimes even more extraordinary than I could have even imagined going into that sales call if I had a goal in mind. right? Like I've had people who were like, oh, I'm kind of curious to do this one program, to booking like 6-month mentorship programs with me. I've had people who thought that they would come on one retreat and book out 3 retreats, like just amazing things happen because we surrender the results, but at the same time come with with a solid sense of self, because we've done the inner work and we've done the strategic work to be able to learn how to sell with soul, with really making bold and beautiful invitations for people to work with you, and really seeing it as a gift, and an offer that you can make into the world. So I'm going to pause there for a moment. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions at all, please pop them into the comments. If something here landed for you today, please pop them into the comments. If you comment on something today, just give me some feedback. It's always helpful to learn what's landing here for you and what isn't. If you comment today, yesterday, and the day before, by tomorrow, I'm also going to do a draw for $500 towards any of my programs. So make sure you head in on that. And then also wanted to share a little bit about Feminine Leadership Mastery. And I'll share a bit about Alchemy as well, because they're kind of similar programs, but they are different. And some of you had some questions about this as well. So if you are somebody who is at the very beginning of your business, or you've been doing it for a while but never really had a solid business training, I really highly recommend that you jump in on Alchemy with me. Alchemy of Business is a 10-week small group coaching program where I literally walk you through the steps that I do, the 10 stages of creating any offer, any program. I do this with all of my programs all of the time, that help you build the foundational blocks to be able to create offers that are irresistible, that are magnetic, and also feel super aligned for you. It is key. So in addition to my tantric work and coaching work, leadership, women's circles, all of that, at one point I really had to learn, I chose to learn how to really create a business. It actually activated this part of me that was super fun and highly creative. So I take all of my skills in both areas, the personal development work, the shadow work, as well as the strategic work in the business, to be able to create a program for you where we do both. Essentially feminine energetics, masculine business structure, and mentorship, which is key. I've had amazing coaches along the way, and I bring this to you inside Alchemy in a way that brings the best of group coaching, because you get great feedback, you learn a lot in a group. It's usually more affordable if you do a group program as well, and the best of like one-on-one support, where you get me within that group container, where you've got my eyes on your work, like unlimited feedback rounds for 10 weeks. It's an incredible offer, and it's a really great foundational program. So that's Alchemy of Business. We're going to start when we have 6 people registered. I'm guessing that's going to be about mid-April. So just DM me Alchemy if you want more details on that. The second program that you might be interested in is FLM, or Feminine Leadership Mastery. So this is a brand new group coaching container. I'm offering it along with guest speaker Robin Savage, founder of the Brand Is You Co. She is a core part of my team. So you actually get access to my team, which is incredible. And it's a 12-week program, also small group, intimate, and it's more for people who have been on this path for a little while, who have had your business. You might have some basics of business coaching already, but you're really ready to take it to the next level. People who've done private coaching with me, who've done Alchemy with me, these would be great ones for you. Or if you've been a part of other masterminds, or you're just like ready to step up in your feminine leadership, this is it. This one is much more about amplifying your magnetism, amplifying your influence, and also building sustainable wealth. Like all things that I do, it brings the magic of the feminine with the groundedness of the masculine, with my devotion, my mentorship, in order to support you to really make moves and move the needle on the things that you want to create and bring into the world. So FLM is going to be super fun, activating, implementable. It's 12 weeks, and we do a weekly live call, 90 minutes. You get me and or Rob, and then in between you also get voice note support, which is invaluable, and our eyes on you, and then also some super special recordings that are for FLM only. So that is FLM. We start on Tuesday. Again, amazing program. DM me or comment me FLM if you're interested in that. And then of course I've got private coaching as well. I've only got one spot that's available in March. So if you're curious to really get like high level one-on-one support, then send me a DM as well. And there's one spot open if you want to jump in on that. All right, so again, if you've got any questions, hop in there right now. I'm going to stay on for one more minute in case that there's anything. Let me know, was this helpful? Was there a good takeaway? Do you have any questions? You can just pop them in here. And I'm going to write here, heard the replays of day 1 and 2. Great to hear you. Yeah, you're welcome. And if you hadn't gone back to those, like check out those recordings. It's gold. I was on for like an hour yesterday. All right. So I think Marina sounds amazing. Yeah, truly. By the way, I never, it's just not in the blueprint of my being. I never create anything that I'm not ecstatic to do. So it doesn't matter if it's a retreat or a business course or anything. Like if I'm not feeling turned on by it, I stop doing it. So you know that if I'm launching a program, it means that there is real juice behind here. There's aliveness. It's activated, and it's going to be, there's already a few women in there, which are amazing. So I'm really happy to dig in, and there's a few spots left for Feminine Leadership Mastery and Alchemy as well, which will start soon. So yes, send me a message again if there's anything that I can support with, any questions that you have. Again, highly recommend that you jump in. FLM is also offered at a price that it will probably not be offered again at. It's we priced it just a little bit lower just to get it going and to kick it off with a great launch. So if you're curious about it, it's sparking some butterflies in you, then definitely jump in on that or send me a DM and we can have a quick chat also to make sure that it's a great fit for you. All right, here's some questions coming in. Kimberly, good to hear you. Good to see you, hon. Not having any plan to be self-employed, but yes, the thought of selling or imposter fears hold me back in the safety of being an employee. I guess my pressure, desire are not high enough yet. Yeah, and actually, I always take things away. Okay, great. So yeah, for those of you who are not self-employed, but this conversation is still resonating with you, then FLM, Feminine Leadership Mastery, might be a great program for you. Alchemy is definitely more like building the bones of your business. FLM, we will talk about magnetism, influence, wealth, money, abundance. So all of those topics will be there. And you don't have to have your own business to be inside FLM. Many women will, but you don't have to, because we've also got women who are leading teams in there who's not running their own businesses, but the themes of magnetism, wealth, influence, emotional empowerment, we're also going to talk about how to have tough conversations, how to regulate your own nervous system, how to be able to hold the capacity to receive more in your life. So these are really great topics. So just to clarify that as well, for FLM, you don't have to have a business. Many women will, but you don't have to. And these themes that we will talk about will absolutely be relevant for you as well. All right. So I hope that was helpful, Kimberly. All right, loves. So I think that is it for today. So again, if you're watching the replay, feel free to comment, and I'll make that draw for anybody who participated in all 3 of the sessions tomorrow. And if you've got any questions, send me a DM. Otherwise, hope to see some of you inside FLM, some of you inside Alchemy, and always reach out if I can be of support. All right, much love. Take care.